If you're creating content of your dog, how do you get them to look at your camera source? I am a longtime professional photographer and dog parent, and I have 3 main ways that I use to get my dogs to look at the camera when I want them paying attention to what I am doing. Now, it is important to note that looking at the camera photos are not the only good photos that you can take of your dog. Lifestyle images are fantastic while they're playing, while they're doing things, while they're looking away. All of those are going to be really good pieces of content for you to create in your photos and your videos. But if you do want that direct eye contact, I've got you. The first thing that I really like to employ when I am working with dogs is a high-pitched noise. This is the one that most people do not think of. And so as your dogs are playing and doing things, if they're not focused on you, if you make a high-pitched noise at just the right moment, they're going to turn to look at you no matter what they're doing. So if you are outside playing, if you're inside, if they're doing something, and you make a really high-pitched noise, which I'm not going to do because my dogs are in the room with me right now, but you just real high, get that voice up, out of nowhere, they're all of a sudden going to whip around and face you no matter what they are doing. So what you want to do is be very quiet, very calm, have your camera source ready, whether it's a camera or a phone. And when they get to the place that you want to take that photo, when you get everything positioned, you just want to make sure you have everything lined up and ready to go. And you're going to make that high-pitched noise out of nowhere and then get real quiet again. Something that is going to spike up in their attention is going to get them to stop. And so you can only employ that once or twice during a shoot because they're going to catch on. This is when you don't want to do all the time. But if you see the moment and you need the picture quick, that high-pitched noise gets them to stop and pay attention. Now, the second one that I like to do is holding a treat by the camera, but this is going to get their attention in the way that they might run toward the camera source or they might be hyper-focused on it. So the high-pitched noise, that is a look at the camera just for a second, get the shot real quick, then they're going to go about what they were doing, especially if you're quiet after. If you have food, they're going to be very focused on the food, trying to get the food by the camera. So I very much like to use this with dogs who kind of know commands a little bit more. So if your dog can sit and stay, that's going to be a really good one for you. So holding that right next to the camera lens is going to help guide their eyes. And it also allows you to, as long as they know it's there, to kind of move them so that you can get those profile images or the looking up images. You can guide where their eyes are going. So with the high-pitched noise, that is coming straight from you. So your camera source needs to be up near your face, which if it's a phone or a camera and you're taking a picture, your eyes need to see it anyway. So it's going to be in that general location. With the food, this is more of an up-close thing. So the high-pitched noise can be up close or further away. The food is going to be closer up photos, and they have to be able to smell it. They have to know that it's there. So you're going to put them into whatever position you need them to be in, a sit, a lay down, a stay, whatever, and you're going to be able to guide their eyes. And that means you're going to have a lot of micro expressions as you are creating these pictures, but you can only do it for so many clicks of that shutter before you have to give them the treat. Give them liberally. You want to make sure that you are giving them, anytime they're behaving, give them another one. They're going to keep paying attention. Don't go overboard with this, but get the shots that you need. And make sure it's something that is strongly scented. I really like the Zesty Paws Wellness Bites. Those are specifically for training. They're like 1 point something calories, so it's very easy for you to give, but they have strong scent to them, stronger than their dog food. And so if you kind of drag that by their nose, they're going to all of a sudden be paying attention to you, and that gives you the ability to look directly at the lens, slightly off, look up, look down. You can almost change their facial expressions depending on your dog with how you are positioning their face. So if I am doing a photo shoot with Lucy, she has this fun little thing where she has her lips up a little bit in certain images and the relaxed or like her mouth open and some. Depending on where I'm holding it, where I have her head positioned up or down, it changes her facial expression. And so I can get what I need based on where I am directing her eyes inside of the image. Now, the other thing that you can do is hold your dog's toy up. This is going to be really good for them if they are not food motivated or if you don't want to constantly be giving them food, and you can just kind of shake it near the lens. This is also really helpful if you are in the picture and you are going to try to get them to look at your camera source. You could throw the toy toward the camera. Now, be aware if you are kind of back doing your family photos or whatever it is, and you're tossing that toy, that creates movement. And it will get your dog to look in that direction, but it also will move your camera source. So if you have a phone on a tripod, you're going to get the wind brushing past it, please don't hit it with the toy, but you're also probably going to get some camera shake. If you have a heavier duty camera, you'll also probably get a little bit of that camera shake. If you're on autofocus and you're trying to take these photos, it might latch onto the toy instead of you. So you have to be aware of when you're clicking the shutter and where your focus is and all of those things if you are throwing something at your camera source. So that is one that you can do. It is my least favorite of them, but having their toy, if you're just taking pictures of them to kind of shake and play with, that's going to make for really good photos. And you can then extend your hand in front of the camera and play with them with that toy and get some cute images and videos as well. So the three things that I am using are that high-pitched noise. That is always my first go-to and my first priority with this because it stops them in their tracks and gets them to look right at me. It is short-lived because they only look to investigate and then go back to what they're doing. And I can only employ that once or twice during a photo shoot every once in a while, but it is the most effective. I like using treats because it directs their eyes. It does have to be closer, but as long as I have a somewhat well-behaved dog, we can get a lot of really good content out of that. And I like those toys because those are bigger things and also very motivating for your dogs. So you have options. There are ways to get your dog to look at the camera. And the more you grow with this, the easier it's going to be to train your dog to take those photos, to take those selfies with you, and to do all the fun commands to get really good content as a dog influencer or as a dog parent who's documenting your dog's life. We've got a full playlist on photo ideas, photo hacks, and ways that you can be creating and documenting content from your dog's life to save you time and effort, but give you everything you need for the entire life of your dog. So drop your questions down below, come back for more. We've got lots of ideas coming up and more tutorials on how to thrive as you're documenting your dog's life, plus full playlists on pet influencers and how you can thrive in that space if that's you as well. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes as we continue to help you live your best dog parent life.